eti for message say notification button no obetene on. See the any update baby ubenya na wahwe na subscribe ama bibia aye kama
NDC, maybe they are the opposition party. So let's start with them. Okay, so this is the map of election 20. This is the Ghana map, and we're going to put figures in for election 2020. Okay, so we're going to pick the regions where NDC won and the regions where they lost. That will be the same for MPP in the vice versa, isn't it? Okay, so Mikhail, tell me, the NDC won Northern region by what margin? And viewers, I'm referring to presidential election. Presidential. By what margin? You know, we know what the parliament is, 137. Parliament was split right down the middle. So what was the margin? Do you have it?
Just around 68,000.
68?
Just around that.
Northern region. The old northern region. So NDC won northern region by 68k votes against the NPP. All right. The NDC also won the Volta region, obviously. Do we know the margin with which they won the Volta region?
506,027.
Okay, that's impressive. 506,027. All right. So the NDC won the northern region by 506. NDC also won Greater Accra region. Do we know the margin by which they won Greater Accra region? The margin by which they won?
But this is about
100,000. Yeah, 100,000. Okay. Greater Accra, 100,000. Okay. The NDC also won, I believe, is it Bono? Did the NDC win Bono?
No.
Did you say Bono?
No, the NPP won.
The NPP won Bono by what margin?
Just about 89,000.
89,000 for the MPP victory in Bono. Ahafo, who had Ahafo? NDC?
Ahafo was the NPP by 29369.
Oh, say it well.
29369.
That's 29,000.
Yes.
Okay. So, Ahafo region, MPP wins by 2,969.
369.
2,9369. 29,360. Okay, let me clean it. Let me clean it right away. So let me write it here. So it's been 2,939. Okay. Ashanti, MPP won Ashanti, obviously. What was the margin?
1.14 million.
1.140000. Okay, 1.14 million. Okay, then the Eastern region was won by the MPP. Do we know the margin?
Eastern region by about 200,000.
200k. Okay, so Eastern region and the Ashanti region gives MPP a starting lead, if these results are anything to go by, of 1.3 million votes that the NDC must claw back to be able to win the election. Okay, if you look at the political map of Ghana, you will see that the NDC has an easier path to win parliament than the MPP. But the presidential, the MPP has an easier path to win the presidential than the NDC. And this is how the demographics left us. What they did in 1992 in forming the constitution and in forming constituencies, that's what you see here. So you will see, and that is why historically you will find that NDC wins more regions, but eventually sometimes they lose the presidential, as happened in the 2020 elections, as perhaps happened in 2016's elections, as indeed happened in 2008 when MPP had won only 2 regions in the presidential, but were leading the NDC by 100,000. So the MPP's path to a presidential victory is not as complicated as the NDC, but the MPP's path to a parliamentary victory is particularly difficult. And that's why you can see that the NDC can split parliament 137, and they are 500,000 behind. Because at the outset of the presidential election, the NDC will have to claw back 1.3 million votes. So if you are using 2020 figures, by the time the election starts, 7 December, voting is over at 6 p.m. The MPP has 1.3 million that the NDC must claw back. But it's not complicated for the NDC to claw back. Let me show you why. Because NDC has 500,000 votes in Volta region. That's in the bag. So the MPP's 1.3 million is immediately reduced by 500,000. So you take about if you take 500,000 from one, then you have 800,000. So now the NDC reduced the number straight by 800,000. That's how the election analysis are done on election night. And I've been there so many times. So on election night, in the MPP strong room and the NDC strong, this is what they are doing. The NDC strong room is looking for the margin in Ashanti. From 11 p.m., that's what they are checking. What is the margin in Ashanti? The MPP is also checking the Volta region margin, and they are keeping an eye on the Ashanti margin. NDC, if they have to win the elections, whenever they won the elections, they've done better in Eastern region than losing by 200,000. So if the NDC's path to win this election, Greater Accra will be won by the NDC. It looks very much like that. It's a regional capital all over the world. If you look at the election analysis, regional capital, the opposition normally wins. There's a lot of concern, economic situation, the dollar ratio, all of that is much pronounced in the regional capital and big cities than anywhere else. Greater Accra is going to be the melting pot for that. But the thing with Greater Accra is that the NDC won it by 100,000 here. But they were losing Central Region. Let me write it here. Central Region, NDC were losing Central Region by 70,000. So the 70,000 quickly brought the Greater Accra to 30,000 in terms of the deficit, looking at the national route to win the presidential. Now, if the 70,000 reduces the 100 to deficit, then this 30,000 can be swallowed up by the Ashanti situation and still have Eastern Region's 200 intact. There's 800 more to go because Volta region has taken out that. Okay. So the NDC's path to victory is this. The NDC need to consolidate their gain in Greater Accra region. They have to win it. And the 2020, they won it by 100,000. They would have to probably maintain the same or win it by 130, 150. Then they are getting somewhere. Because once they win Greater Accra by 130 or 150, and they're able to keep Volta region at 500,000, that 150 comes onto 500,000 and is reducing the Ashanti deficit. For the NDC to be comfortable, they also have to win Central Region, and that's why you will notice that in most of the elections the NDC wins, they win Central Region, they win Greater Accra Region. If they win Greater Accra Region but they don't win Central Region, then they're going to have a problem because Ashanti is going to be as it is. Well, Ashanti at this rate is showing 72% of MPP victories. What is giving them 1.4? If the MPP also want to win, they will have to be securing at least, that is if they want to win early. When I say early, I mean by 2 a.m. on December 7th, you want to win like happened in 2016. In 2016, by midnight on December 7th, there was celebration in the MPP camp. You call them, they say, Charlie, it's over. How did they know it's over? If you are picking Ashanti 75% and you are picking Central Region and you are winning Eastern Region, you are getting there. You are MPP, you are almost there. For the NDC, you have to win Greater Accra Region, which I think is in the bag for the NDC in this election. The margins, I'm not sure. Some people put the margins at 50,000, some put at 70,000. That is so tight, but the NDC is most likely to win it. Then they have to win Greater Accra and win Central. If on election night, the results are coming in and Central Region and is going away from NDC, then that's going to be a problem for them. If the results are coming in Greater Accra Region and NDC are sort of leading, but the margins are small, that's going to be a problem for them. Let's go over to look at the other ones. Western North. What was the margin in Western North in 2020? 21,000 in favor of who? Okay. So NDC won Western North by 21,000, 21K. Okay. And then Western itself?
The Western region was 41,100
in favor of the MPP. MPP won Western region by 41,000. And then I'll come to the North in a minute, viewers. I'll come there, but let's look at it. Okay. So the NDC's path to victory. Win Greater Accra at least by 100,000 or a bit more. Win Central Region or do not lose Central Region by more than 20,000. Even if the MPP were to win and they win by 15,000, that kind of thing, it's still okay for the NDC. They need to win Central Region or not lose by 20,000. If they win Greater Accra by less than, and I'm giving you a clue for election night, and I'll do it again as we go along, but watch this. If the results are coming and the NDC is winning Greater Accra by less than 100 and losing Central Region, the night is going to be very long for them. On the other side, if the MPP results coming from Ashanti and the MPP is doing, say, less than 70% of the margin, it's going to be a very long night for the MPP. Then they will have to look for other places. Let's come to the analysis of the northern part of Ghana, because this is my first John King effort. I'll be doing it again. Let's come to the northern part of Ghana. Okay. Here in the north, the NDC won the northern region by 68,000 votes. This is where it's going to be crucial. Look for Mahama Ayarige's video. If you have it, then you let me know. Mahama Ayarige's video. Now, this is where the Dr. Baumia effect is going to come in. If the Dr. Bawumia effect that the MPP are expecting to happen really happens, you will find on voting night that the margins with which the NDC is winning the northern region is not looking like it will be 68,000. It's probably looking less. The NDC also won the Savannah. Can you tell me by what the margin is? Savannah. The Savannah region. What was the difference with which the NDC won? 60,000. Whoa, that's kind of small. Okay, 60K for the Savannah in favor of the NDC. All right, Upper East and Upper West are not much, but they are important. So NDC won here by 68K in the northern region, 60K in the Savannah region. I think this is why the NDC lost the presidential election. You know why? Because if you are NDC and the northern region, you are winning by only 68,000 when you should be winning by 170, 200, 220, 250, then you are in trouble. If the results start coming in and the so-called Bawumia effect, which is largely expected by the MPP, works in the northern region and the results are coming in, if the MPP is winning the northern region, then it's going to be a long night for the NDC. All other things being equal. Except we have some significant surprises where the NDC is picking, say, 35% of Ashanti on voting night. Then you are getting somewhere. You're getting to. But if all things remain equal and the results are coming in and NPP is picking up the northern region, that's awkward. So if the NPP picks up any of the NDC seats, any of the NDC regions, that's interesting. Let's see the NDC region. Upper East, Upper West, Northern, Savannah. All of them are potentially NDC. If NPP is picking any of these up on election night, that's concerning. If the NDC, however, is winning the central region and winning the greater Accra region, the two together, that's concerning for the NPP, except if the margins are small. If it's a marginal win, if say NDC wins central region by 10,000 and greater Accra by 50,000, and NPP can ignore that. If they are doing 72%, 75% in Ashanti, they can ignore that. So it's all about the margins. I'll get back to this analysis another time very, very soon, and then we can share with it. But it will be on social media, so those of you who are interested, let's look at it. This is Good Evening Ghana's special John King presentation on the path to victory. We'll do it again next week where we come with better figures, where we narrow it down to some constituencies that will make the difference, etc., etc. All of that is coming. It's 18 minutes at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Let's move on with the show. So what did Domahini